Greetings, salutations. Welcome to this midday power surge, Monday, January 31st, 2022. This is your spiritual oasis on this pilgrim journey. Save to Serve International, first-time viewers, welcome one, welcome all to this prophetic insights. All right, friends, we're here for this midday power surge. And before I begin, I want to make sure that we all understand how imperative this presentation is for all of us as it relates to our salvation. My friends, I want to emphasize the importance of understanding the fulfillment of Bible prophecies. I'll make two quick points and get right into the materials for this content. Number one, the Bible shows us in Daniel chapter 2 that there was a prophecy concerning the rise and fall of the four great empires of world history that would precede the second coming of Jesus Christ. Babylon, number one; Medes and Persians, number two; Greece, number three; the Roman Empire, number four. And out of the Roman Empire would rise the papacy, and then we're told the second coming of Jesus Christ. That's all in Daniel chapter 2. With that in mind, in that same chapter, the Bible predicted the fall of Babylon, that Babylon would fall. All right, friends. Now, notice in chapter 5 of Daniel, when the sign came that Babylon would fall that very night, there was a handwriting on the wall. Do you recall that prophecy of chapter 5 of Daniel? And friends, the majority of those who were in that banqueting hall with Belshazzar, the leader of Babylon at that time, they saw the sign. They saw the handwriting on the wall that Babylon would fall. However, they could not interpret what it said. They had no understanding of that sign. And praise God, by and by, Daniel, the prophet, was ushered in, invited, brought in to read the handwriting on the wall, to interpret the handwriting on the wall, and to give its significant application. Babylon will fall this very night. All right, my friends, here's the point now. The signs are telling us that Babylon is about to fall. Not ancient literal Babylon now, but spiritual modern Babylon, which is the papacy in the primary sense, along with her confederates, her allies. I will confirm that very, very shortly. The signs are here. Many people don't see the signs. They're too busy with the cares of this life. Another group of people, they do see the signs. All right, but they don't understand what the signs mean. So who does God need right now? To interpret what the signs mean and make the necessary proper application. He needs individuals today like Daniel of old. With that in mind, are you ready now, my friends? Let's segue into this. The Bible prophesied that Babylon is connected to the pharmaceutical giants, yes, the pharmaceutical merchants, yes, the pharmaceutical companies of the world. And we're seeing a sign now confirming the Bible prophecy, which shows us, my friends, the end of all things is at hand, that modern spiritual Babylon is about to meet and have and see her complete fall. We don't want to fall with Babylon. So as a result, my friends, it's time to cancel Babylon. Let's get right into this, brothers and sisters. Notice what this says. Headline. Which company is that on the headline? Pfizer and the Vatican. Sources say Pope Francis met privately twice last year with Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla. Again, this is a Catholic agency giving this report. Notice what the paragraph goes on to say, brothers and sisters. Please note this. The Register has learned that Pope Francis privately held undisclosed meetings with the CEO of Pfizer last year. Watch carefully. As questions arise over the efficacy of the inoculations in preventing transmission, which are now being mandated for all Vatican staff and visitors. According to Vatican sources, Mr. Pope Francis twice met Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla at the Vatican, although the precise details are not known. Brothers and sisters, watch carefully. I want to emphasize this point. This meeting was not the first private and unannounced meeting. Wasn't the first. And out of all the examples, this report stated just as the Pope met with Mrs. Floodgates. Pause right there. Think. Beloved, is Mrs. Floodgates the second and only private announced meeting with the Pope? Come on now. So why would they mention Mrs. Floodgates as an example out of all the plethora of examples? You get the point? Is there a connection? And beloved, we are told that Mr. Floodgates promotes what? Depopulation. Take a look at this, brothers and sisters. There it is on the screen. Albert Bourla's meetings with the Pope would not be the first such unannounced papal encounter in recent years. In November 2019, shortly before the pestilence 19 health emergency began, the Pope privately received Mrs. Floodgates. Brothers and sisters, they are seeing the handwriting on the wall, but they cannot read it correctly, interpret it, and make the imperative applications. Where are the modern day Daniels? Let's read on. The meeting, well known in the Vatican, was announced and has never been officially acknowledged. Is there a connection just before the outbreak? Just before the outbreak? And by the way, let me add, my friends, who are some of the leading proponents that we are the ones that can bring a stymie to this pandemic? Are these not the individuals who are meeting with Pope Francis, meeting with Popery at the Vatican? I'm telling you, it's Revelation chapter 18 that's being fulfilled. The kings, the rulers of the earth, have committed fornication with her. They're working in tandem. And when I say tandem, I didn't say they're yoked together. They're working in tandem. Tandem means one is leading the other, but they are connected. They are formed an apostate union, an apostate solidarity. By the way, not only Mrs. Floodgates with the Pope of Rome, not only Pfizer's CEO with the Pope of Rome, but also Moderna, the same article, hold on, Moderna CEO. Dr. Tony also was there, as well as President Joe Biden's chief medical advisor. Take a look at this, brothers and sisters. There it is. Last May, Bourla took part in an online Vatican health conference titled Unite to Prevent and Unite to Cure. You could read the rest of that. Black words underlined. Providing a platform for promoting inoculations produced by large pharmaceutical companies. That's it, friends. That's it. Unite. Are they connected? Popery uniting with large pharmaceutical companies. Beloved, the handwriting is surely on the wall. Who can read it, my friends? Who can read it? And by the way, just another addition. Understand which companies made millions, I was going to say billions, as a result and since the pandemic. The merchants, the pharmaceutical CEOs, COO, you name them, CFO, those are the ones that made millions, yea, billions. The merchants, get back here. Black words. Are the speakers at the meeting co-hosted by the Pontifical Council for Culture, including the CEO of Moderna, Dr. Tony, and President Joe's Chief Medical Officer? That's it. That's the connection, brothers and sisters. And again, the prophecy connects and shows the connection between Popery, yes, the merchants of the earth, yes, and who else? And the pharmaceutical companies, brothers and sisters. Take a look at this. The Bible says in Revelation chapter 18, verse number 2, verse number 3, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. Now pause right here. I don't want anyone to miss these important points. I want to inculcate these truths in your minds right now. Friends, in this little segment, I'm going to confirm that Babylon is popery in the primary sense, and also confirm that in a tandem relationship, she is the one connected with the kings, the rulers, and the moneyed men, the merchants of the earth. Now, are you ready for this? Watch carefully now. There it is. Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of her wine. Watch carefully. The kings of the earth have also committed fornication with her. The merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So based on that, who has made them rich? Babylon the Great. Based on those two verses of Revelation chapter 18, are they committing fornication? Yes. Is she a global power? All nations, blue words, for all nations have drunk of her wine. Beloved, now you do know that wine can also be seen in a secondary sense, a tertiary sense, as something placed in your veins. It's a concoction, wine, a potion. Does it make sense? Let's move on. The Bible goes on to say now, to confirm that Mr. Babylon is the papacy in the primary sense. Revelation 17, verse 4 through verse 6. And the woman was arrayed in purple, the bishops, and scarlet color, scarlet, red, the cardinals. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Is she also a persecuting power? Does she also promote depopulation? Verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. What a power, brothers. And hold on. This is a shocking power. Notice, she promotes depopulation, and she's connected with individuals who are promoting depopulation today. Mr. and Mrs. Floodgates and the others. Let's get back. In that same scripture of Revelation 17, verse 4 through verse 6, well, verse 1 through verse 3 mentions that Babylon commits blasphemy. Blasphemy means in the Bible a man who claims to be God. John chapter 10, verse 30 through verse 33. Who does that represent today? That's the Pope of Rome, the so-called Vicar of Christ, the so-called Holy Father. Blasphemy, sacrilege. Okay, blasphemy also means a man or men who claim to be able to forgive sins. Mark chapter 2, verse 5 through verse 7. Who is that? That's popery, priests, bishops, cardinals. That's the Pope of Rome. Blasphemy, Babylon, my friends. Now, in Revelation chapter 17 and verse number 6, the Bible mentions that she is called Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother, okay, which church today claims to be the mother of all Christian denominations. It's right there, friends. Popery, the Roman Catholic Church, is the mother, she says, of all Christian denominations. Well, thank you. For by your words you shall be justified. That's not you. And by your words you shall be condemned. All right. Now, let's connect now in no uncertainty Babylon the papacy with the pharmaceutical companies to confirm it's a sign. The handwriting is on the wall. Babylon is about to receive her complete fall. Then comes the close of probation, the second coming of Christ. I want to be prepared to go home. How about you? What about you? Revelation chapter 18. Verse number 23, verse number 24, top right paragraph. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in Babylon, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in Babylon. Red words, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth. Let that sink in. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. That's the pandemic, right? For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. That's what it says. Verse 24, and in her was found the blood of prophets, the blood of God's saints, and also all that were slain upon the earth. That's Babylon. Is she connected with the sorceries? Yes, sorceries. Look at the middle paragraph. It says the definition of sorceries, the Greek lexicon, the Greek dictionary. Sorceries, it simply means pharmakeia. That's it. Pharmakeia. It means medication. It means pharmacy. Pharmaceutical companies, the pharmaceutical giants, magic, sorcery, witchcraft. That's it. Sorceries, a drug. Sorceries, a druggist. Sorceries, a poisoner. Sorceries, a magician. Sorceries, spell-giving potion. My friends, based on that, Revelation chapter 18, verse 23, red words, for by thy sorceries, Babylon, were all nations deceived. The Pope is a druggist. That's it right. The Pope is a poisoner. Sorceries. Poisoner, it's right there on the screen. Poisoner. The Pope is a magician. The Pope is a spell-giving potion giver. It's right there. Witchcraft. Warlock. That's it right there. Pharmakeia. That's it. Hold on. It's very interesting that like ancient Babylon, so with modern spiritual Babylon, the papacy. Hold on. In Daniel chapter 2, the Bible mentions Nebuchadnezzar, king of ancient Babylon. And who did Nebuchadnezzar form an alliance with? Daniel 2, verse number 2, astrologers, magicians, who else? And sorcerers. This is a nail in a sure place. Isaiah 22 and verse number 23. The handwriting is on the wall. Daniel 5. Watch carefully now. Daniel 5. Do we find again the magicians, the sorcerers in Daniel chapter 5? It's right there, my friends, in verse number 7. The astrologers, the soothsayers. It's all there. And you can also skip on down to verse number 11 of Daniel chapter 5. And it's all in verse number 11. The magicians, the astrologers, the soothsayers, these are all sorcerers. The day when Babylon fell, the handwriting is on the wall. Let's go back quickly. Daniel. Let's move on now from Daniel. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 21. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, that's Babylon again, nor of their thefts, robbing people of the life-giving power. And notice, linked with sorceries, same word, the same word, Greek word, in chapter 18 of Revelation, verse 23, as chapter 9 of Revelation, and verse 21 is the same word. Now notice, the same word sorceries is linked with murders in Revelation 9 and verse 21. And what does the word sorcery mean, the root word? Medication. Are they committing murder with their medication? Yes, they are. Come back here. Watch carefully. What else? Second paragraph. A drug. Are they committing murder with their drug? Yes. Are they committing murder with their poisons? A poisoner? Yes. It's Babylon, brothers and sisters. And that's why I'm telling you, chapter 18 of Revelation says, remember, when you see this connection, the Bible says in verse 23 that the light of a candle, top paragraph, the light of a candle shall shine no more at all. Probation is about to close. The voice of the bridegroom, the voice of the bride, that's the church in the secondary sense, all right, shall be heard no more at all. Why? Thy merchants were the great men of the earth, and by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. That's a pandemic, brothers and sisters. And this Exodus 19 is showing us the handwriting is on the wall. Pause right here. So what would the voice of the bridegroom say? Because when we see this, the voice of the bridegroom is about to be heard no more at all. What will that voice say? Well, Revelation 18. Verse number 4 says what? Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. That's the voice of the bridegroom. And secondly, the voice of the bride, the church, the faithful remnant. Today, the faithful remnant represent Bible-believing, faithful, Sabbath-keeping individuals, faithful seventh-day keepers looking for the second coming of Christ, Seventh-day Adventists, Bible-believing Christians. I make no apologies for that. All right. Now, let's move on. So we just showed how Bible prophecy connects popery with the pharmaceutical giants. Now, let's take a look at history. A second confirmation point. Look at this, my friends. There it is. Headline: Papal inoculation campaigns offered punishments, rewards over 200 years ago. Bottom paragraph. When popes were king, they ordered all their subjects in the papal states to be what? Inoculated, using punishments and rewards to convince the hesitant. Does that sound like what's happening today, my friends? By the way, I won't play this video, but read the words, the closed captioned. It's right there. Right column. It's right. Getting inoculated is a simple yet profound way to care for one another, says the man of sin, Mr. Babylon himself. It's right there, friends. It's right there. Do you now see the connection? All right, come back here. It says, second paragraph, watch carefully, Pope Pius VII, all right, through the full weight of his temporal power behind an inoculation campaign. Okay, who was Pope Pius VII? What is he also known for? Look at that. History books, my friends. First sentence, the Jesuit order, the Jesuits were restored to power in some sense, in 1814 by Pope Pius VII. Same paragraph, blue words. Also, Pope Pius IX. Look at this now. That's the article. Look at the red words underlined. That's Pope Pius IX. And today, what group does Pope Francis belong to? The Jesuit order. And what is the historical vision and aim and goal of Jesuitism? My friends, to undo all that Protestantism has done, to overthrow Protestantism and to bring about the temporal dominion of the papal hierarchy, to restore papal domination globally. Are they now using the pestilence 19, its policies, to also garner supreme control? You better believe it, brothers and sisters. Notice on the screen right here. Your papers, please. It's right there. History. That same law from the Vatican specified that to obtain subsidies, what are that? Benefits or premiums, it was necessary to provide your certificate. That's it. Every father of each family had to show that certificate. What would we call that today, my friends? We would call that today a prick card, inoculation card, a pest 19 inoculation card. History is being repeated. And here's my point. The papal power used the civil government to carry forward its policy. Come back here, friends. Watch carefully. Refusing the inoculation was defined as a reprehensible conduct, punishable by a loss of benefits. I covered that. Won't spend time on that. Last sentence. It says, watch carefully, and tied licensing of physicians to their willingness to inoculate their patients. Brothers and sisters, healthcare workers are being persecuted. It's going on now. People are being threatened that they won't receive their retirement checks, no pension. I just covered that recently. You can buy, you can sell. Does this not show us, friends? The handwriting is on the wall of Revelation 13, verse 15 through verse 17. You won't be able to buy or sell except you go along with this agenda. Let's pause. Let me move away from this now. Now we're told in Great Controversy, page 606, watch carefully, that this is just a fulfillment of the church using the state to carry forward her agenda, just like the state is using the church to force the congregations to receive the pestilence 19 inoculation. It's quid pro quo. I scratch your back, in turn you scratch my back. A reciprocal relationship. They're working in harmony. Look at that, my friends. Great Controversy, page 606, second sentence, blue words. The fearful result of enforcing the observances of the church by civil authority. The inroads of spiritualism. The stealthy but rapid progress of the papal power. All will be unmasked, brothers and sisters. Hold on. Did I just cover the papacy met privately within an unannounced meetings with the pharmaceutical CEOs, along with Mr. and Mrs. Floodgates and Dr. Tony? Are we see the stealthy but rapid progress of the papal power? All will be unmasked. All right, friends. With that in mind, I must now segue into another segment. It's connected though, and this segment is simply going to confirm the Pope is promoting what he calls a Catholic fact-checking media company to silence freedom of speech, to silence what he calls InfoDemic, or disinformation, misinformation. Cut the chase. Look at this, friends. Here it is. Watch carefully. Fresh off the press, January 28th. Headline: Pope denounces fake news about pestilence 19, inoculations, and he's what? Urging truth. I'll come back to that. Skip on down. The Pope met with Catholic journalists who have formed a fact-checking network to try to combat misinformation about the pandemic. Hold on. Mr. Francis goes on to say, watch carefully, in this meeting with the Catholic Fact-Checking Media Consortium to further his objective to silence what he calls misinformation. Now pause right there, friends. Pause right there. How can the man of sin be saying we need to have truth? Friends, the Bible tells us, watch carefully, in John chapter 8 and verse number 44. I want to read this word for word for you, verbatim. It says, you are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye would do. He was a murderer. Is popery a murderous, heinous church? Yes. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. And when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. I wonder why. For he is a liar and the father of it. You call this man Holy Father? Holy Father? You mean he's a father of lies? I make no apologies. It's a fulfillment of prophecy. This is Satan's right-hand man. All right, friends. Okay, let's move on. It goes on to say, the Pope speaking, same article, we can hardly fail to see that these days, in addition to the pandemic, there is also an infodemic, which is spreading. What does he mean by that? It's a distortion of reality based on fear, which in our global society leads to an explosion of commentary on falsified, if not invented news. Those who are less, we want to prepare, we want to take care of those who are less equipped to separate out the morass, the swamp, if you will, the quagmire of misinformation and commentary masquerading as fact that is available where? Online. Brothers and sisters, what do I see here? It is simply the Pope from another perspective promoting the papal inquisition. It's right there. Red words underlined. The papal inquisition. It is still intact today. That's it, brothers and sisters. How much clearer can this be? GC 607, blue words. The clergy will put forth almost superhuman efforts to shut away the light, lest it should shine upon their flocks. But brothers and sisters, church and state will fail. Do you know why? The sins of Babylon will be laid open, brothers and sisters. Time to stop dilly-dallying. The sins of Babylon must be laid open. And who will Christ use? Men of faith, men of prayer. It's time, brothers and sisters. As I said before, I'll say it again. It's time to cancel Babylon. Hashtag cancel Babylon before the voice of the bridegroom is heard no more. Probation closes. Now, I had several ways to close this off, my friends. But there's one specific way out of others in which to cancel corrupt Babylon. Number one, live present truth, Bible religion. Number two, teach and preach present truth, Bible religion. And what else? Baptized people into present truth, into Bible Christianity. Safe to Serve International, those of you who are alive, I want to thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. By God's grace, we were successful rescuing souls from Babylon, canceling Babylon, one by one, one by one. Thank you. This past Sabbath, on January 29th, we had our baptismal service. Let's keep the newborn babes now in our prayers, encouraging them. Let's make sure we remain converted. Okay, my friend, it's time to cancel Babylon. The protest must continue. And if you, I'm going to play a video right now, friends. And if you desire Bible studies, if you desire to be prepared for baptism, rebaptism, beloved, please send us an email at admin@stsministry.com. There is a fountain filled with blood drawn from Emmanuel's veins, and sinners plunged beneath that flood lose all their guilty stains. I'm going to share with you now a montage of the blessings God bestowed upon us this past Sabbath, canceling Babylon. Come out of her, my people. There's room. There's room for more. There's room for more. There's room for more.